What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for Martha's Vineyard Summerhouse Martha's Vineyard season 1 episode 9, because next week is the finale, or 8, whatever. So we start this episode off. We have old girl on the balcony, topless, and of course everybody is like, "Girl, what?" All the guys are trying to act like they ain't see it. Well, all the taken guys. The girls are like, "Can you please go put some clothes on?" Like, Shanice, please go put some clothes on. And, Shanice just doesn't care. Like, I feel like at this point she knows that she is pressing buttons, and she just wants to. She wants the attention. She doesn't care whether it's positive or negative, and it's really quite immature. Like, you have to know that that's not appropriate. Bria already let you know that she felt some kind of way about you doing it in front of her man. So your response is, "I'm going to turn around and do it in front of everybody's man." You know that there's literally a married couple there, and you just think that that's cute. And you just kept saying, "Everybody's just so serious. Everybody's just so serious." No, everybody's been an adult. Like, it's one thing when you and your girlfriends, y'all are drunk and the guys weren't there and y'all were running around the house naked. Okay, fine. But the guys are back now, and let's act appropriately. Her and Bria did talk, and Bria basically told her the same thing. Like, "Look, girl, you know, when it was just us, that was one thing. But when the men showed up, like, that's not cute. Like, that's my man. You know, yes, you know, when there's just been a couple of guys we picked up at the club, we've played around. But this is my man. Like, this is a serious relationship, and it wasn't cute." Shanice apologized, but I don't think she means it. So we're outside. Shanice eventually shows up. And as soon as Shanice shows up, Jasmine wants to have the conversation about Shanice and Alex. Immediately, Shanice tells Jasmine, "We'll talk, but I don't want to do this in front of everybody. I'd rather do this privately." Somehow or another, the conversation that she said she didn't want to have at the table, they end up having the conversation at the table. And everybody makes it seem like Alex is the only person that done Google Shanice and know her business. Well, what they were saying was, well, no, we know that everybody, but he's the one that brought it to everybody. He's the one that brought it up. And Alex was like, "But I'm not the only one that Googled it. So I don't see what the problem is." Because one minute they were like, "Well, you brought it up, you brought it up, you brought it up." And then the next minute they were like, "Well, you could have just asked her." And they were like, "Well, no, you didn't ask her. You asked all of us rather than talking to her," which is a valid point. But I feel like they turned that into a whole situation that just wasn't that deep. Girl, you were all over the internet. Now, whether you really did that stuff or you didn't do that stuff, because one minute you said that your ex-boyfriend lied on you and that didn't happen. But then you said, "Well, that was a whole year ago. I've matured. I'm different now." So which one is it? Is it you did it, but you're mature now and you've moved and you don't do it anymore? You're not going to do that kind of thing anymore? Or is it, "I did it, but I don't want to talk about it because that's my past"? Like, you got to tell me. And again, like Nick said, I Googled everybody in this house because I needed to know who I was going to be spending the next 2 weeks of my life with. And I think that's valid. I think nowadays that is what people do. Like, if I'm going to go out on a date, I'm Googling you. You know, when you go on a job interview, you Google the people that you know, oh, the HR person's going to be there. Who is the HR person? You want to, like, the information is there, and that is what we want. And I don't see the problem with it. I don't understand the issue with it, right? So anyway, moving on. We now have, so now they're all kind of jumping on Alex. And Alex was like, "Whoa, I'm really feeling some kind of way about this right now, so I'm going to excuse myself." So when Alex walks away, now all of a sudden, other people want to speak up and be like, "Well, I think Alex just felt like he was being ganged up on. You know, I don't feel like Alex meant any harm or any malice." You know, and Alex ends up coming back around and doubling back. And he was like, "Listen, you know, my apologies for making you feel the way you felt." I think he said "if," but I'm going to give him I'm going to take an "if" out. That was never my intention. You know, because then Jasmine ends up going off and turning it into a whole Me Too movement and talks about how Alex has no, that's later on. I'm sorry. No. Is that later on? Child, I can't keep up. It was a whole breakdown. I think we all kissed and made up. Okay, I think we all kissed and made up once Alex came back to the table. But again, I feel like, and Preston for the first time, Preston kind of got on my nerves. Because usually Preston is the voice of reason. But Preston was like, well, I think we have to acknowledge that Shanice, you know, felt the way she felt in this moment. And I'm like, but I think we also have to acknowledge that, number one, Alex did not do anything that the rest of y'all didn't do. Like, they literally showed a scene where all of them, the whole house, was having a whole conversation about what Shanice did. So for y'all to sit there and make it seem like Alex is the bad guy, I felt kind of effed up, and I felt like y'all were all ganging up on Alex. When, let's be real, Alex ain't do nothing that the rest of y'all didn't do. Everybody at that table knew what it was. Now, maybe he was the first person to say something, but all of y'all knew that Shanice was accused of stalking her ex-boyfriend. And so they eventually resolved it, but honestly, I just felt some kind of way. And at the end of the day, Jasmine started the whole thing because they were like, well, why are we talking about it? And literally, Jasmine brought it up. Like, literally, Jasmine brought it up. So they went back into the house. They're playing pool. They're kind of relaxing. They're chilling or whatever. Bria is still upstairs. Child Simon went upstairs and took her plate. He went upstairs to check on her, and he then broke down what happened at lunch with everybody. And Bria was like, "Oh wow, like dang, that's what happened." And so then they're at the house later on that night, and they're chilling and they're joking and they're drinking or whatever. And Alex makes a joke about Jordan being celibate. Like, they were talking about her and Preston hooking up, which of course is a joke because everybody knows that Preston is gay. So there wasn't even any validity in the statement. It was just a joke. So Jordan goes off and was like, why do you keep coming for me? Like, why do you keep coming for me? Like, I don't come for you in your veganism. I don't come for you in your soberism. So why you come for my y'all know, not having sex, child. She was like, I don't understand why you're coming for me. So then she starts going off about how Alex has been objectifying her all summer and how she doesn't appreciate it. And Alex is like, the fuck? Like, what? Like, how did we get here? Like, what are you talking about? And Jordan really just starts going off about how the guys in the house, she comes at Amir and talks about how Amir staked his claim on her, which of course stopped her from getting to know the other guys. And she didn't appreciate that. And producers showed, I guess, examples of what Jordan was talking about. Like, there was a moment with Alex. Remember, we know that Alex told her, girl, you getting thick. Alex, when they went to go play tennis, Alex was like, girl, you're not playing sexy enough. And let's be clear. I'm sort of torn on this issue because Jordan's feelings are valid, right? We saw examples of it. Jordan's feelings are very, very valid. And I think that before we can change the culture, we have to let men know what it is that they're doing that is no longer okay and acceptable. Because I don't feel like Alex or Amir did anything out of the way, but I understand how Jordan took it and took it as that it was objectifying her. But here's what I also feel. I also feel like Jordan carried a whole lot of that baggage in the door with her. And she put it on Alex and she put it on Amir. And that's not fair. I do not feel like Jordan and Amir, I feel like in their mind, they were complimenting her. In their mind, they were being nice to her. In their mind, like Amir said, I was really trying to get to know her. So I wasn't doing anything that I felt like was putting her in a bad situation because I really was interested in dating her. So the guys are sitting around like, what the fuck? And the girls, of course, are comforting her because Jordan had a whole breakdown. Like, she's crying and everything. Her feelings are valid, and I want to be clear about that. And I also want to be clear that we do need to change the culture of what is acceptable as far as men's behavior towards women. But again, because Jordan posed for Playboy, because I'm sure she dealt with a lot of that, like Bria said, when you Google her name, the first thing that pops up are her Playboy pictures. So I understand that that's probably exactly what she deals with on a regular basis. And for that, I feel for her. I really, truly do. I feel for her. But I just feel like it was misdirected, and I don't feel like it was fair to put all of that on those two men Because I don't feel like they did enough. I don't feel like they did what you gave them. I don't think it warranted what you gave them. But again, like I said, I'm torn on this because I feel like if we don't let men know what is not acceptable, they're not going to stop doing the things that aren't acceptable. Does that make sense? I mean, come for me in the comments. Like I said, I'm torn on it. So please don't come at me like, I'm telling you that my feelings are torn. Jordan's feelings are very, very valid. But I also feel like she carried a lot of that baggage in the door with her. And I feel like there was a whole lot of other people that probably deserved that more than those two men. And poor Alex had just been getting beat up all damn day. But anyway, child, so look, we go to bed. It was a heavy day. It was a heavy night. We checked on Jordan. Jordan said that, you know, she's okay. You know, so the next day, child, we wake up, and here we got to deal with Silas and Jasmine and they bull hockey. Child. I'm sorry, before we get to the next day, Amir left. Amir walked out. He was pissed. He called his friend to sort of kind of, you know, get I need a moment. I need somebody to talk me off the ledge. He went back in the house, and Silas was like, look, I feel like you and Amir need to talk. And Jordan was like, well, you know, I'll talk to him, but I felt some kind of way when he left the room. Like, I was trying to talk to him, and I feel like he walked away, and he didn't hear me out. Well, first of all, he walked away after you had pretty much got out what you needed to get out. But I also feel like he walked away because he was hurt and he was pissed. And so you have to let people process. Like, you can't lay me out and then not allow me to respond the way I need to respond. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, with that being said, they did talk, you know, and he told her I really meant nothing by it. I meant no harm, you know, and they were able to clear the air, you know, they were able to clear the air. So, now we get to the next day, child. So the next day they're getting up, they're going to have they're having a soul food, dinner, and then they're going to have a pride party. Preston is cooking the dinner, and they're doing a pride party. You know, Preston said this is very important to him. Obviously, because he said, I'm a black man, but I'm also gay, you know. And so I'm very passionate about gay rights, just like I'm passionate about, you know, black rights, you know. So Jasmine was ironing Silas's pants and got a mark on them. You know how sometimes you pick up the iron and the iron has something on there, you go to iron and the iron's in the stain or whatever. And so Jasmine was like, look, my bad, but I just went, they've got a Tide pen, I'm getting ready to clean this up, you'll be good. And he was like, well, I just don't understand how that happened. She was like, it happened because I was ironing the pants. He was like, well, that just makes no sense. I don't understand. Like, you just don't know how to iron. You know how to do anything. And she was like, are you serious right now? Like, he said, well, I told you that the pants didn't need to be ironed. They were new pants. I didn't need to iron them. But you insisted on ironing them, and now they're ruined. She was like, bruh, I told you that I got the Tide pen, and I'm going to fix it, and it's going to be fine. So he kept fussing, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to just leave you alone. I'm going to let you handle it, because I don't have the energy for it. So then she goes downstairs to cook his breakfast. And I'll be damned, I wouldn't have cooked that mofo nothing. Oh, I don't know how to do nothing right? Well, figure out how to scramble your damn eggs. How about that? So she cooks him breakfast. She takes it upstairs, and then he don't eat it. She was like, so you're not going to eat it? He was like, yeah, I don't, I don't really do stuff. I don't really do, it's too many carbs. And she was like, what do you mean it's too many carbs? He was like, the starch. I don't want to do all that starch. And she is looking at him like, have you lost your mind? Because I have been making you the same damn thing for breakfast for the past week, and you ain't had a problem with it. And now all of a sudden you don't want to eat it because you done got your panties in a bunch. So she got an attitude. He got an attitude. He's sulking and pouting. And she pissed off and in her feelings talking about, I don't know if we're going to make it. Like, at this point, child, I don't even know if we're going to make it. So we get to meet Preston's boyfriend. While all of this is going on, Preston is talking to his boyfriend. And, that was cool, you know. We see Alex talking to his brother. Alex is planning a big, like, I guess like a concert, you know, like a mini concert, not like a concert, you know, for their final night there, because the finale is next week. Well, actually tomorrow, because it's been a week. It took me a long time to do this review. But anyway. And so we saw him planning for that or whatever. So we see everybody cooking, and they got to give us the history of soul food. And if y'all don't know the history of soul food, Google it, child. I'm about to give you a history lesson. But of course, it dates back to slavery, where basically the slaves were given what was left. The slaves were given what other people did, what the people didn't want to eat. And we figured out a way to do what we needed to do with it, you know. That's why, you know, gizzards and chitlins and pig feet and, you know, all of these different things that we turned into a delicacy as a part of our culture and heritage. You know, now we look at it now like, oh my God, who is eating pig feet? But, you know, that's why we were eating the chitlins. That's why we were eating the gizzards. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much what it boils down to. But y'all can do y'all research and learn more, okay? Nick's girlfriend is coming in from Africa. Now, I don't know if she visiting Africa or she live in Africa, because he says she's still in Africa. So I don't know. I don't remember, and I might have missed it. I don't remember them telling us, was she on vacation? Not really sure about that. But we go, you know, we have dinner, we do all of that or whatever. And then we get into, you know, after the dinner, we get into the pride party. And listen, it was a good time, okay? Everybody got into it. Everybody was wearing their rainbows, and, you know, he gave them the history of pride. He went back to Stonewall and explained Stonewall again. You have to Google it, child. It was a little history lesson in this episode. He made the guys put together a dance routine, and it was fun. It was very, The Last Man-ish, you know. It was cute. It was fun. And Preston was like, I really appreciate you guys. You know, everybody just embracing this and putting and going all in. Like, I really appreciate it. And so forth. So everybody's getting ready to go to bed, and Silas decides that he still want to talk about these damn pants. He's talking about some, babe, don't you think we should talk about the pants? And no, she said talk about what? He was like, I mean, don't you think we should talk about those pants, the ironing from this morning? She was like, I know you lying. And I'm sorry, I was out of order. She did not go and cook his breakfast that day. She cooked his breakfast the day after the pride party. And then that's when he was pouting, acting like he wasn't going to eat it. And that's where the episode ended. And Shanice is gone. She said her farewells because she's not coming back. You know, she was only coming for the weekends anyway. And she said, you know, she looks forward to coming back next year. But hopefully everybody won't be as serious. Girl, how about you on the wrong show? Because, yeah. Jason tried to talk to Jasmine because she was feeling some kind of way about where things are with her and Silas. And Jason was like, listen, everybody has their idea of marriage. You guys just have to get on the same page about what that looks like, you know, and y'all gonna have to figure it out. It's an adjustment. It's new for everybody, and there it is. But here's the problem, Jasmine. When your representative shows up, at some point, it wears away. And I think that's what it is. I think Silas married the Jasmine representative, and slowly but surely he's getting the Jasmine. And I don't know if he likes her that much. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.